is Wednesday. We are wizards, and today is a magical day that we call Wizard Wednesday. Channeling in with quantum style through the quantum downs. This is Elf.
And Dotta.
And Bear Snake is in the woods going pee pee. Right, Bear?
Hi, and Bear, what's up?
What up, Bear? Welcome to Wizard Wednesday.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We got a lot to go over today. We've got questions, we've got updates, we've got cult content, so I'm just going to launch right in. The first thing I want to talk about is have you seen those 3D souls?
Yes.
I
love
saw them.
They're so fun. They're you have a knack for sort of like marrying kind of the dark with the comedic in a fun way, and it just really shines through when these souls heads. I love it.
Yeah. These 3D souls have just brought an entirely new love and appreciation from me for that collection. And you nailed it, Dota. Like one thing I love about these is it's showing sort of the comedic, wacky side of the souls, and yet they still look very gory and gruesome and scary. They're just so much more organic, maybe than the Wizards collection. And yeah, I freaking love them. I just want to brag and say, what did I tell you all? Souls would immediately follow right up after the Wizards were done. They are in full production. I can even say that I've got like 30% of all the heads done, all freaking ready. And I don't know if I said this last week, but all the Wizards are totally modeled, heads and bodies. The rigging is mostly done, and now all that's left is the texturing, which goes relatively fast. So, yeah, 3D is almost here.
And let's just congratulate Elf and the 3D team for making the deadline.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Incredible. So the 3D team, correct me if I miss anyone, is Elf, it's Molly, it's Frog Eater, and then I think that there's been a couple of other people to help as well. But it's been a huge effort. And I don't think that you did mention it last week. The fact that all of the Wizards' heads and bodies are modeled is a massive milestone. So yeah, I'm very excited about this.
Freaking massive. Yes, you name the whole team. I might add one more. Waz on our team, Magus Wazir, the one who rings. Who his contribution is he is currently making the 3D page on our website where everyone will be able to go download their model, see their model, hopefully test out some animations on their model. We're building it all out, so I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, Waz also worked on the code to kind of like script Blender basically to actually make 10,000 different wizards, right? So there's, of course, there's a few hundred heads, a few hundred bodies, and we put them together with code, and so that assembly work's also been done by Magus Wazir. So it's been really fun. Been really fun to see him create like 3D memes, I guess, and then also working with Locke. Locke has like even been getting into Blender to create her own 3D work. So it's just a little microcosm of what hopefully the whole cult will be able to do.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think I've said this before, but the whole 3D thing has definitely taken a very long time, longer than we wanted. But I think the timing is actually perfect because if we had released these 6 months ago, there wouldn't have been a lot of things to use these for. But now, just coming up very fast upon us are a bunch of new 3D metas that other teams are building that you will be able to use your 3D character in. So I think this timing is actually way better. Speaking of the website, though, Waz and I were discussing this yesterday, and I'm just going to kind of open it up. We have sort of two options as far as like downloading a 3D character rig. On one option is just completely make it open and let anyone in the world download any character. The other option is token gated, so you can only download that rig if you actually own that character. There's pros and cons to each. What do you guys think?
I think that it should be open for sure, 100%.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear what, if the community has any thoughts. If anybody wants to come up, feel free. But in my opinion, basically, like, there's no upside to making it harder to get these files. In terms of sort of the rules that we've basically set up is that anybody can use all of the wizards, all of the art that we create for non-commercial purposes. So, for example, if someone wanted to create a game, and they wanted to include wizards, include these 3D models into their like metaverse, and it's sort of like they're not charging people to use the wizards; they're allowed to do it. I think that there's just like a strong enough culture within Web3 that, like, if you're going to like invite the wizards in and you're going to like let people connect as their wizard, there's going to be an expectation that you're going to let the wizard owner sort of use that. But if somebody wanted to like use our 3D models as sort of like an asset on the Steam asset store, like, more power to you, especially if it's non-commercial. So yeah, I don't think that we need to token gate it. I think almost everyone would appreciate seeing their model used in some other context.
Yeah, and I also think you look at a lot of the content, the cult content that's made. People are bringing, they make art and scenes with all of their friends in it without the permission. I think we should mirror that with 3D.
Maddo's coming through.
Yep. What's up, Mato?
Mato, did you say that Nifty League is going 3D? Because that would be amazing.
Yeah, I just posted it actually in the secret tower. I'm gonna pin it in here. Nifty League's actually, though, I noticed myself, like, the week that they pretty much announced that, like, that Wizards, if you scroll through their timeline, it's like funny because they have like the announcement that Wizards are in Nifty League, and it's mixed in with like announcements of like, here's like a 3D version of like this map, and like that got the gears rolling in my head, like, like, is that coincidence? But it sounds like you didn't know about it, so maybe maybe it was just coincidence.
No, I didn't know.
Okay.
Mato, it's quantum synchronicity. That's what we call it around here.
Yeah. So I guess by the time we have our models ready, they'll probably have their 3D ready, and we can probably get wizards in that too.
There you go. Hell yeah.
And I will say a lot of the things that we're looking at doing in the future definitely incorporate the 3D. I think it's a whole entire new playground for us, and I think it just adds, no pun intended, but a whole new dimension to experiences and games and things that we can do in the future. So I think I'm just so excited, and they just look so freaking good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so hard to get the initial collection in 3D, but then you get such an economy of scale when you try to do animations across every character versus like pixel art where we have to, paint every pixel.
Right. Yep. So they're not 100% done. We still have some texture work to do, but like the heavy lifting is over, and we'll be rolling these out as soon as we can. And again, like that first batch that we released to select community members a few weeks ago, that was very helpful. There's going to be even changes on those. I think I'm going to do a new version of the rainbow suit because I didn't really like that one. But yeah, look forward to 3D coming very, very, very soon. And then, yeah, I also wanted to just give a quick shout out to Locke and Waz, who are using the 3D assets on TikTok. I personally don't know a lot about TikTok, but what I do know and what I love about it is that the content there is just very lowbrow and ridiculous, and I mean that as a compliment. And the things that Locke and Waz are doing with our 3D models fit that description perfectly. So I imagine they'll do really well on TikTok. Okay, and then in other news, it looks like my Super Puma sold, which I believe led to a new cult member joining the cult. So it did its job. Well done.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's Mitch NZ. Hi, Mitch. I don't know if you made it in here. We'll see.
I see Mitch just commented in the Secret Tower. So yeah, welcome to the cult, Mitch.
What's up?
Nice. Yeah, nice Puma wizard. Okay, yeah, let's jump into cult questions. So Tabitha of the Marsh asks, if the Forgotten Runiverse is a reflection of the real world, why do its members only reflect positive traits of the real world and not the evil and the dark? So I would say, first of all, I have seen some evil and darkness right off the bat. But you are right. I think it is overwhelming positivity. The Runiverse is being built by the cult, and so it is their own reflection they are building with. And so I can only assume that that reflection that they see is a positive one. A reflection is not something described only by the eyes, but also the brain and the heart. So reflections are up for interpretations, and so far it's been nothing but positive, which is great. Emma is asking, are you working on any of your own overarching lore? What do you have planned for the future? And is anything that the cult is building influencing your personal lore? I think this is a good question for all three of us. Yes, I am working on my own lore, and it's all in my head. And I know that's the lamest answer ever, but it's true, and I will roll it out. Yeah, I think in the next 6 months is a fair assumption. Surely I can get it done in 6 months. Bear or Dotta, what about you guys?
I think a lot about like the lore that I want to tell from the project as a whole and less about the lore that I want to tell from like a specific character. I mean, I have characters in Wizards that I own that I've, thought through some lore to tell about them, and I probably should just to set a good example. But I think like for me, one of the things that's always been a bit of like friction point is just like being the embodiment of Dota and then like not having really like final say in the lore of the character of Dota. So I think that most of my lore will be kind of on like some of the other wizards that I own.
Well, what's funny about that is number one, you don't even own the original, and number two, I own the baby Dota. So
Right, exactly. So there's really an
well,
identity crisis over here.
yeah.
Hmm.
Bear, what about you?
I'm kind of along the lines with Dota. Sorry, I have a little bit sick. I feel like I've really just been. I have 3 different stories right now that are in different phases, but they're all really around those specific characters, and I think I need to like get those out there first, and then figure out how to like weave in my friends and sort of other cult members into those storylines. But I have to like establish them as sort of individuals first.
Yeah, I would say for me, I think that like Wild Mage Lumos, which is like Wizard ID 44, that would be the wizard that I kind of think the most about his lore is like, because like for me, that's sort of like my kind of anchor, like default wizard of the entire collection. I just like that. I picked that wizard out super early because it felt to me just like this quintessential wizard. He's got a purple hat, he's got a broom, and he's got the beard. And so I think a lot about Wild Mage Lumos. But I think that we'll probably have more as a group to tell about him in the year to come.
Yep.
Maybe you guys should do like a group, like you guys should actually drop like lore of like one specific wizard that all 3 of you kind of like contribute to a little bit.
That's
That'd be
fun.
cool.
Yeah, we
That
will.
would be fun. Yeah, that would be a microcosm of the collaborative legendarium. Pixel Trader is asking, what is the current status of the TV show? I've seen the trailer. I was very impressed. Reminded me of Visionaries from my youth, if anyone remembers that. I do not remember that. But Bear, I know basically your entire month has really just been phone calls to the industry insiders. You got any updates for us?
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted about it the other day. I mean, nothing that is sort of ready to share more broadly, or I should say more specifically. But I mean, we have interest from some of the biggest studios in the world that make some of the most successful television films, and it just I had to tweet about it. I think it was yesterday, just because it dawned on me that while all of us are building this, the cult and Magic Machine all together, the fact that we have and obviously, the fact that we have people at the highest levels calling and having like incoming interest without us even with them just like hearing about it hearing about the property and the project, and then them calling us is just, I think it's just absolutely phenomenal. That doesn't really happen. Usually it's you have to like just sort of like get a battering ram or get inside of a tank and roll through the front door of these of these studios. But the fact that people are starting to come to us as they hear about what's going on, it makes me extremely excited. And I think, as much as we want to speed run and move as fast as possible, I think we have to make sure, part of the difficulty here is we don't want to just like go down the path that any normal show goes down, because that inhibits us from doing things and including the cult in certain ways. Because these traditional media companies are very handsy and grabby about rights and what they take versus what creators take, and so we're I think we're just trying to, as always, set a new bar for how a company that's born out of Web3 and wants to embrace that ethos across all these mediums, like, and have that reign true. And so, it's one thing to sell a show; it's another thing to come in a position of power and hold on to as much as possible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Because like the only way Forgotten Runes wins and we like stay true to our vision is if like everyone wins. Like that if there is a show and this becomes like a global media brand, that's something that we all took part in and that we all benefit from. So
Yeah.
I think that like the deal terms also matter, insofar as like, if we go to it and then Netflix owns it all and they own all the back end, and then it's like, okay, we got a show, but we like lost creative control, and then there's like no money on the other side to go to anyone, then that's like not ideal. And so I think we're just always navigating this of like making sure that we're like getting the best deal that we can, but at the same time, not holding out for something that's impossible. And it's like we never know, perfectly what the right answer is, but we're just making progress every day. I mean, I know it seems like an eternity in Web3 world how long we've been talking about this, but it's just how long it takes.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, I think if we just wanted to go the traditional route, we would have sold it and it would be in process. But I think as always we have the long game in mind, and so we're gonna get there. Things are looking really good.
Yeah, and by the way, that option was on the table, and we just didn't take it. So
Yep.
anyway, so yeah, speaking of the show, Snoop Dogg is asking kind of a tangential question, believe it or not. Snoop Dogg is asking, did a different group of wizards trap each beast? And if so, was it the Chronomancers who trapped the Ouroboros? Okay, so this is actually a storyline I'm actually playing with in the show script. How the beast got behind the gate. And so I'm not going to say too much there, but as far as the Ouroboros is concerned, I don't think the Ouroboros actually came from the Gate of the Seventh Realm. The Ouroboros, which is the divine avatar of space and time, first revealed itself on Times Square in New York City. True story. So I'm not sure if it's ever been trapped anywhere, because how can you confine a beast that manipulates space itself? All we really know at this point is that the wizard Realize, who is represented by the video ghost Toru, is currently the beast master of the Ouroboros. So any further information or questions may have to be directed at him. Tanya is asking, who is behind those amazing beast animations for Goblin Town?
Yeah.
They are indeed amazing, and it is the geniuses at the Pixel Shop. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, Dotta. I mean, speaking of Pixel Shop, do you want to give any Goblin Town updates?
We've been working super closely with Pixel Shop for Goblin Town. The UI is looking incredible. Niski and I have got a end-to-end demo, pre-alpha demo working on Arbitrum's testnet. And Pixel Shop has just been incredible in this process because everything they produce looks incredible. And they've also been very flexible with me because I'm not like super great at kind of designing every single UX interaction from my brain like ahead of time. And so what'll happen is it's very iterative. I'll be like, oh, we need, UI design of these kinds of apps is like very sort of intricate. It's like, okay, there needs to be like a tab where we can craft a settlement or a road, and then you need to show how much each one costs, and then you need to be able to like place it and like what menus do we even put that on, right? And so then like how do you know how many you have and what button is it and where do you lay that button out? And so the team over there led by Sumis have just been so gracious, so flexible. They meet with me on a regular basis, and well, we're making quite a lot of progress there, and it looks really good.
Yep. Not only are they super talented, they're also very friendly and kind and just a joy to work with.
Yeah, they're really great. Johnny, you got your hand up. Hey.
Hey, what's up? Was that Dotta or Elf?
What up?
Yeah, I'm Dotta.
Yo, what's up, y'all? How are y'all doing?
Good.
Hey, good. How you doing?
Good, man. Did I meet any of you in New York last year on that like little that yacht that went into the like that thingy?
Probably.
Were y'all there? Y'all were on that?
I was not. Bear, were you on that?
You know what? I didn't make it to the boat. I did not make it to the boat.
I don't think any of the three of us went. Some of our team was there. Jitcy was there.
Yeah.
Where is Jitzy anyway?
Oh snap, dude! I felt like such a loner, dude. I was eating that pizza and just getting sloshed and drinking, and like I was like, I wish I knew where the Wizzies were.
Yeah.
No, that's the one thing I was really sad about missing. We did a Christie's art auction, so I had to go to the party for that. But yeah, was it fun? What did we miss?
Nah, you didn't miss too much, man. I mean, plus it was like y'all collabed with like 2 other projects or something to make it happen. I was like baffled. I did not run into like any Wizards holders, and I was like, what the fuck? But it was still a good time and everything, and I'm glad that y'all made that happen. Yo, Elf, bro, can you give me your honest critique and opinion on my Kanto Ravers?
Oh, are you the one who drew the Kanto Ravers?
No, I didn't do the art on them.
Oh, okay.
The art was done by Acid Eater.
Okay, right. That's what I thought. I mean, all I really know is that the art is fantastic, and I'm a little annoyed that Acid does my style better than I do.
Yeah, see, if I think if Kanto was really actually moving right now, and like their marketplace wasn't absolute dog shit, that it would have a little bit more attention. But I went to the Milady rave and some other stuff in ETH Denver, and like tossed out like almost a quarter pound of pre-rolls.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, yeah, are you a Kanto enjoyer? Are you a weed enjoyer? Okay, here.
Nice.
But yeah, I just wanted to come by and say hello and that I love y'all. And I totally hope we can meet IRL one day and party it up.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
I'm sure we will. Jitzy, did you have a comment about the yacht? You were there, right?
I was there. I was drinking. I was partying. Yeah, what's up, Johnny? I remember you. No, I don't. But it's like good that you were there. We probably should have met.
No, dude, I have a picture. I have a picture of like me on the yacht. Not a face dox, but I was wearing like a tan Woodstock shirt. And I was like pretty dripped out. I was like a super skinny white dude. Even though I'm mixed, I'm Indian, but
that was like 80% of the boat. But yeah, it's fine.
No, like this girl like came up to me and was like, "Can I get a picture with you?" And I was like, "Sure." And I literally like covered my face with my hands.
So I heard, obviously I wasn't there, but I heard that it was either Tad or Dr. Pop was doing the worm, the dance move. Is that true, Jitzy? Can you confirm?
Confirmed. It was magical.
But
Wait,
who
so
was it?
Pop,
Was it?
so Pop
It was
It's
brought
Pop.
out
Dr.
the worm?
Poplovsky.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Okay.
It
Hell
was
yeah.
good. I don't remember much of the dance floor, I'll be honest, but it was. I remember that moment. That's for sure.
Jitzy, I like how you just came up on stage mid chewing and are just
Yeah,
like,
you're like
I love
mature
it.
Sorry.
PFP, which I love, by the way. What is
Wait,
this?
I'm about to bail, guys,
we-
but just want to say I love y'all one more time and keep it pushing. Keep it
Thanks for
pushing.
coming up.
All right, yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
you, Johnny.
thank you.
Thanks, man.
You're
Later.
What PFP is it showing? For me, it still shows my cucumber one, or is it the Cyclops?
Yeah,
I'm seeing a
it's
Cyclops.
Oh, the Cyclops is good. That one, I was joking about it on Twitter about how I wanted to Cyclops Kobold, and then why Sam went and made one, obviously. So I had to snap, right-click, save as, and put it as my profile picture. So here we are. I love it.
He's really committed to that yellow cobalt.
A little bit. It's a little greenish. It's yellow green. I say green.
Okay, we have two more questions to go through. This one is actually very important. Sharon is asking, today is International Women's Day. We need to get more gals into the cult. Any plans to make that happen? So Sharon, I'm going to say that I have no plans to make this happen, and here's why. Because the current women who are in the cult are just outshining everybody, and I'm a little intimidated, quite frankly. I mean, we've got Tanya Del Rio, whose talent is just off the charts for everything. Acid Eater, like I said, does my pixel style better than I do. Cosmic and Emma are better at memes than anyone. Sharon and Lorepunk are some of our top lore masters. Sammy is the queen of pretty much everything, not just the Hall of Cats. We've got Sweetbread and Artist and Slick Chick and Cookie Tree and Slim's wife, who I think everybody likes more than Slim himself.
Nah.
And not to mention Locke and Molly on our team. So, I don't know if bringing more women in is a good idea. What do you guys think?
More women.
Okay. Then Bear, I leave that task to you.
I'm just saying it because like I like, I go to, it's my job to go to all these conferences and events. And I think we've all seen like the Frank to Gods video of the second Web3 worm. Pop obviously had the first one, and it's just a lot of dudes. We know women are smarter, more, basically better at everything. So I think we just need to, we need to have a better balance here.
Yep.
Oh, also Slim's. You didn't say Slim's wife.
He
No, I
did.
did.
Okay,
did.
good. All right.
Which we know that she has a name, but she also goes by Slim's wife. But if you want us to
And we
use
like her a lot more
name-
than Slim.
yeah. If you would like us to use your own name, we're happy to. But we don't know it.
So yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers that question. And then finally, V Mark is asking. This is a question for Dota, but I think Bear could answer this too. What do your children tell the other kids about their father's work? V Mark says that he feels weird when his son tells others that his father owns wizards. Guys, what do your kids think about you being cult leaders?
Oh, my kids love it. So my kids are super into it and create wizard art all the time, and like, drawing wizards in this household is quite common. We've got wizard rugs and all sorts of sketches. I don't think that like other kids really ask, but like people definitely ask, when you meet new people and they're like, oh, so what do you do for work? And if I don't know them very well, I'll just defer and I'll just be like, oh, I'm a computer programmer, or I'll be like, oh, I sell art online or something. Right. And so I think like, uh, yeah, whenever someone asks, I think it just depends on like how deep I'm ready to go with them, because we're still in the phase where you're like explaining NFTs to people. Like I would say 50% of the people have heard of NFTs, and like 10% have even heard of, like, let's say Bored Apes, for example. So it's like you have to be like, oh well, like okay, think about the value of the Mona Lisa is like not in the board or whatever. Like if you have to like have that conversation, it's just like a lot.
Yeah, let's just say like parents' night at school, I just try to avoid it because it's just not worth getting into. Like my kids think it's cool, but they don't engage with it. Like my son wants to do what I do, even though he doesn't really understand what I do. So yeah, I mean it's NFTs have not broken into that that age group, I would say.
Most of the new people that we meet are like at church too. So like I don't really open that I like lead up a wizard cult.
Do you
That
think the
doesn't-
church would have a problem with you being a cult leader?
You know, some things are better left unsaid.
Do I need to
Oh,
come
man.
down there? Should I come down there and break the ice for you?
yeah.
Yes, come to Bible study, please.
That's like such a funny premise for like a skit or something. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Bear and Bible study.
Yeah, I'll bring my demonic black goat into that scene. That's I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah. Bear,
Uh,
Alf, and Dotta walk into Bible study.
so,
Oh,
so
geez.
so yeah, this is a good segue into just a little anecdote that I wanted to talk about. I for one have no children, but I do have some nephews. And I saw they did something really funny recently, and I think it actually speaks to something bigger that the whole community can sort of relate to. So, you know, when you describe what an NFT is to a lot of normies, I think a lot of people, and myself included, use the analog of baseball cards, or just any sort of physical trading cards. Like it's a good like real world analog to what an NFT is. And so I have some nephews. They're like 3 and 4 years old, and they're just now getting into Pokemon cards. And the funny thing is I don't even think they know what Pokemon are. They certainly don't know how to play the game, but they love the cards.
Yeah.
And what's really funny about it is I saw my brother sent a video recently. They're not playing the game, they're not watching the TV show, but here's what they are doing. They built their own little Pokemon card store. They are selling their Pokemon cards to their friends and to their dad.
Oh,
And
that's a security.
and it's like that is an NFT. I mean, you know, there's the fun and the culture and the collecting aspect, but there's also the market aspect. And it's just amazing to me that these 3 and 4 year olds, like the first thing they do is put their cards on the market. And then I was like thinking back, like, what did I do with the cards that I collected when I was a kid? One of the things I did a lot was, you know how they sold those like price guides? And they had every single card listed, and you can see how much you could sell each card for. Me and my brother and my friends would always like make a list of like every single card I have and its price, and then add it all up. And I don't think I'm the only one who did that. I think that was pervasive activity among all card collectors.
I love it. Well, I mean, and then that's even like how Mount Gox got started, right? That was like the Magic the Gathering exchange, right? And so because it got to the point where that was a direct lineage from kind of the prices are published in the magazines, and then the prices move online, and then you have this like exchange online where you can buy and sell the cards even without even taking custody of them. And so I love that so much. I would love to do a set of physical, well, I shouldn't say this. I really, really loved the physical runes cards that I got from the Meeple Dad box. I thought they were so fun, and I want to see more of that. Yeah, that was so it's so satisfying to like have them in your hand. I feel the same way about like photo books too. Like we get photo books printed up through like Google Photos or whatever, because yes, they're on your phone, but there's just something about like having these artifacts in like in your physical space that like give you kind of more opportunities rather than like finding them on a folder on your phone.
Yep. But yeah, I don't know. It just struck me as like something fundamental that even a 3 and 4 year old would like try to sell their collectibles. I don't know. I guess for me, it like ultimately it's just a wag me moment.
Yeah.
You guys didn't eat your trading cards?
I did that.
Nice. Cut from the same cloth. Love it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jitcy. Ate them.
You ate them? What do you mean?
I mean, I'm just happy you understand me, Bear.
Yeah, no, the shiny ones taste great.
Way better.
So Me and my daughter play like Old Maid, and then like when she was younger, people would like chew them, and like so Old Maid is like you don't want to, you draw a card and you try to get a match, but you don't want to draw the Old Maid, and so then the problem is like she would like bite the Old Maid, so that way she could like tell which one it was. So
That's clever.
so then we would like have to chew all the regular cards so that way they all had bite marks. So our whole Old Maid deck is just like covered in bite marks, so that way no one could tell which one is the Old Maid.
She understands.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's better than card counting. I mean, it's a lot easier than card counting.
but we didn't like ingest them. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, no, I just chewed them up. I got the juice out.
Yeah.
You guys, this is why they put sticks of gum in those packs. So
Yeah.
Oh, I discarded those. I never chewed those. That's gross.
you traded the gum, but you ate the card. Great.
Yeah. No, but Alf, back to what you were saying, I think it's like it's just easier to play with a card, a physical card, than it is with a digital one, especially for younger kids. And that's why we need more and more sort of ways to interact with more fun ways to interact with our digital, our digital assets. And that's what this whole sort of movement's about, right? Like hopefully in 25 years, when my kids have when my kids have kids, there will be things on whatever devices they're using to be able to, it's like that seems like a mobile game and you can interact. I think it's the physicals are it's just easier to interact with.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay, one other thing that's been happening in the community that I just now learned about, and I'm kind of sad I'm just now learning about it, is 10KTF has just released a bunch of physical shirts. And they freaking look awesome, and I don't know how to get one. So who up here can tell me how to get one of those?
I don't think you
Jitzy?
can anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's over.
It was over. Like from the very beginning of
Son of a
10KTF,
gun.
everyone speculated that there was going to be physicals because of like, well, you put your image onto a physical essentially, and then like 8 months later they got him out through like a burn in a form of some kind. But yeah, I missed it too, and I'm like hold assets from that ecosystem, so I'm dumb. But like, yeah, I don't think we can get them anymore.
A-Bomb, do you have any comments on this?
Yo, happy Wizard Wednesday. Yeah, I do actually.
Hey.
I
Nice.
don't know who was just speaking. Sorry, I was hopping up, but they were correct that it was through a Comfy Hoodie token that these were redeemable. You could go to 10ktf.shop and essentially, get your hoodie and redeem it. They're no longer available at this moment, but I wouldn't doubt that they were going to do more of this stuff in the future. So keep your eyes open,
And what do you need to, like, do you have to exchange a token to get one, or how
Elf,
does it
it's
work?
over. Give it up. You're not getting one.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah. So you'd get a Comfy Hoodie token, or they had Ape token that you could just essentially purchase one of these for. And on the shop online, you would have to have in the same wallet the IP that you'd want printed onto the hoodie, and as well as obviously it has to be an IP that's involved in the 10KTF ecosystem. So Wizards are in.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just know that I minted like a backpack, like almost probably over a year ago now. I have two of them. I guess they're like the Genesis 10KTF something. But I don't know what to do with it. Maybe, but I guess I missed my window on the
Well,
hoodie.
you might have some major, like they have a whole bunch of alpha where they have Burn King for PFP, and if you go to the stock room on OpenSea, there's this thing called the G tag, and under the
Right.
properties, the only thing it has is a crown. So, and the community's done so much sleuthing, finding these like hidden, messages essentially in these tweets. And if you want to DM me, I'll send you this stuff. But yeah, they essentially found these hidden messages that said burn crown for PFP. So we're speculating that if you and the only way to get a G tag is by taking a Genesis item to the recycler on their 10KTF map and all that, and essentially you would get the blank item. Like if you have high tops or a day pack that are Genesis, which those are the only two items that can be Genesis, just for anyone that's listening, you would then get the blank day pack or blank high tops, and as well a G tag. So essentially you'd be able to recraft those items, but they would no longer be labeled as Genesis.
Jitcy, why couldn't you explain all this to me? This is the explanation I was looking for.
This is
My
why I can never
sentences are
use 10K TF. I can't understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's a fun ecosystem, but there's a lot to it. And the way I couldn't explain it that well because I don't explain too good.
You ate too many cards.
Too many cards at a young age.
Wait a minute, but if I have a mutant day pack, what do I do with that, Jitzy?
Right. You can just send that to a new address right away.
Shut up. A-bomb, what do I do with my mutant backpack?
I mean, that's up to you to speculate, like whether or not you want the G tag, because that's the thing. Genesis is always king in that ecosystem.
So it's Genesis, and one of the properties is Genesis. So that's
Yeah,
good,
that's
right?
very.
Is Genesis and G-Tag the same thing?
No, it's not. So there's on their fact website too, on the fact section of their website, excuse me, they have saying they've updated it many times, and it still says certain items will only be, I guess, distributed or available through the ownership of Genesis. So there is still value in owning a Genesis. Like I had like 7 Genesis, I burned 5 and kept 2. So not financial advice, but I still want to be exposed to that side of the ecosystem, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Can I get one of your G tags?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Bob?
5 ETH, and we'll make it happen, Captain.
Okay, sweet.
No, they're actually not too bad. They're a little
Awesome.
under an ETH right now on OpenSea. So again, if you want, go snag one.
Yeah, I got my mutant day pack. Dang it. Anyway, it's too late. The headline is Elf, you missed it. I have all my sweatshirts with all of your wizards on them. And listen, if you want to make a deal, just give me a ring.
Okay, I'll arm wrestle you for it.
No, yo, you can't lose. You already don't have any. How are you gonna get How are you gonna get any
Bear,
when I'm gonna beat you?
Bear, I'm coming back with a vengeance. Just you wait.
Have you been working out every day since I
Just
beat
the
you
one
last
arm.
week?
Well,
Just
you'll see, Bear. You'll see. I'm coming to LA next week. You'll
Oh,
see.
now I have to come.
listen.
Yep.
I'll always make time for you, Alf. I'll always make time to beat you in things.
Okay, we'll
I'm
see.
supposed to
We'll
watch
see.
Josh next week.
Josh is a blind horse. He won't even know if it's someone else.
That's good.
Just put a big orange fuzzy scarecrow in the field,
Yeah.
and he'll think it's Dotta.
If anyone doesn't know who Josh is the blind horse that lives next to Dotta.
Yep.
And every once in a while, I guess the owners go out of town and you have to feed Josh. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Josh is also a racer in the Black Sands pony racing that my pony has beaten every single race.
So are you flexing that you beat a blind horse?
Yes, I am, and I'm about to beat a bear next weekend. So.
Oh my God, Dotta, get up here! You have to film.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, A-Bomb, thanks for the 10K TF explanation. That's what I've been looking for the whole time. Okay, how about some lore? I want to talk about the Illuminatus heads.
Oh yeah.
So these are fun. Everybody knows what the Illuminatus heads is. So there's an archetype just in the zeitgeist of it's this. There's always a secret cabal that is just always behind the scenes, often in government or elite institutions. There's always talk of some shadow group that is actually in control. And they are sort of the masters of the very public leaders that we see. So, for example, the president of the United States is merely a servant of the deep state. Secret banking syndicates control the world's finance, which are controlled by ancient families, which are controlled by reptilian overlords. You've got groups like the Freemasons and the Rosicrucians and the Bilderbergs and the Rothschilds and Skull and Bones and the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And these are all examples of these like secret societies behind the scenes. And there's very rich lore behind all of these. And so, you can spend years just going down these rabbit holes, and people certainly do. I mean, this sort of genre is just rampant on the internet. Just look at what QAnon has done. The lore of these conspiracies is just so damn compelling because honestly, it's a mixture of truth and absolute nonsense. And for better or for worse, it's often the nonsense that is really put up front because nonsense has the capacity to be more sensational than the truth. The truth is often confined by facts and reason. And I find that even the crypto community at large is quite prone to conspiracy theories. And why wouldn't they be? The word crypto is in the name. Cryptography is the art of concealment. It's the art of hiding something with ciphers and secrets. And not only that, but the Messiah himself, Satoshi Nakamoto, is like the quintessential conspiracy figurehead. So, I'm not here to like offer my personal opinions on how much truth or bullshit is in any given conspiracy theory. All I'm saying is I'm just trying to illustrate how much lore and storytelling potential is in this territory. Dan Brown's Da Vinci Code is a really fun example. Dan Brown brought a lot of these ideas into the mainstream, and whatever you may think of his work, it was extremely popular. And so, of course, such a lore-rich archetype has to be in Forgotten Runes. And the image archetype that is pervasive in all of this conspiracy discourse is the all-seeing eye of providence. It literally sees us every day on the most banal object ever, the US $1 bill. It is hiding in plain sight. And so all this is to really say is I can't tell you exactly what it means. Nobody can. There is no canon in conspiracy theories. And so there's no canon here in the runiverse. The Eye of Providence is not really here to answer questions. It's here to serve as a conduit to the secret behind the secrets. It is, after all, a creative primitive for you to explore this forbidden territory through lore. So if you own one, perhaps you can give us some insight into your secrets through this avatar of the Illuminatus. And that's really all I can say about that. I know somebody asked this question last week in the Secret Tower, and I don't know who I can't remember who it was, but that's the lore behind the Illuminatus.
I love it. I was talking smack in the Secret Tower when you started, but I think I think it fits perfectly. I love it.
I'm looking at your shit talking now, and you said you do not approve. Bear, tell me what you do not approve.
No, it just sounded like you were going down a pretty dark path, but you turned it around, and it was all cyclical. So we're good.
Yeah, it's interesting that you describe this as a dark path. Because a lot of conspiracy theory does get really dark, especially on the internet. It's resulted in some terrible shit. But what's funny is, like, I remember as a teenager, before the internet was really such a big thing, this subject matter was so much fun to explore. And I kind of wish that conspiracy theory was like back in the fun phase. Because like nowadays it's like it intersects with danger and darkness very fast.
Yeah, it's just I think it like gets mixed up in this idea of like questioning facts and skewing what information is presented to who in what way. And yeah, there's nothing light and fun about it much, but I think I think the reasoning between the iconicness of the Illuminatus head and your explanation just seems so spot on.
Have you read the Da Vinci Code or seen the movie?
I love Tom Hanks. Of course, I've seen it.
Okay. No, I remember reading that book, and I know a lot of people make fun of it, but it was a page turner. And it's like, I just love how he took all these conspiracy tropes and wove them into a big story. And like what's fun about this genre again is like there's so much truth mixed into the fantasy that it's fun to like pry apart where the historical accuracy is, where the pure fantasy is.
That's why I always like Michael Crichton, and even like Jurassic Park. There was always like this sliver of science, quote unquote, that everything was like hung on. This idea like there were mosquitoes during dinosaurs, and they would, they'd suck the blood of a dinosaur, then get caught in amber, and then
Yeah.
and then we find it. But like, that's believable, right? There's like that's technically possible. Whether or not we can like replicate dinosaurs out of that is another thing. But like to your point, it's taking certain things that could potentially be true and fabricating a whole entire sort of world or story around it. I just think is so interesting.
Jitcy or Matto or Dotta, do you guys have a favorite conspiracy theory that you think might be true?
Oh, this is like a whole other episode. So one of the things that I find most disturbing around like the time that we live in like 2023 is like basically two things. One would be the fact that like pretty much all of the conspiracy theories are true or like mostly true, right? Like when you look at like gosh, I'm going to zip my mouth because I'm not ready to go into this right now. That like I think that they're like almost all true. Like so and then the other part would be just the fact that like um that kind of the information warfare is so rampant right now, and there's like very little consequences for kind of this sort of like the people who fulfill that sort of Illuminatus role are able to sort of say whatever they want, and kind of there's no real consequences to putting out fiction. So I think that those, well, there's nothing really humorous about it. It's somewhat stressful actually.
Dotta, do you think that the alien lore behind the Roswell crash is true?
It's very interesting. I have gone full circle on this. So I've been like super into kind of like, I don't know what you want to call it, like the UAP stuff since sort of like the Nimitz Tic Tac incident. If you haven't looked into it, you absolutely should. There's a couple of people in the cult where we have like our own little private chats where we share kind of the latest stuff. I've really gone full circle. I've gone from both like being like, oh, there's something, there is like technology that can move better than the laws of physics that we actually are aware of, that there's something real. And so you see kind of like all sorts of like eyewitness testimony from this, right? It's from people in the Air Force, people in the Navy. You have, Obama getting on late night TV saying, oh yeah, there are things out there that we kind of like don't understand how they move. There's a lot of like interesting evidence there. There's a lot of interesting evidence there. At the same time, I think that like the Illuminatus, right? They use that sort of psyops for power and control, right? I actually don't think I've looked at kind of all of the evidence, and I actually haven't seen any like even one concrete piece of evidence that feels just like absolutely convincing that UFOs are real. So I've kind of come full circle to feel like maybe it's actually just a big psyop to create the next crisis.
Okay, Dotta, I have another important conspiracy that I need to get your take on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that the Earth is flat?
No.
Okay. You said you believed in them all, but I'm glad you don't believe that one.
No, but like, okay, like the moon landing stuff, right? So like we probably landed on the moon at the same time. At the same time, NASA like very likely put out like fake footage and presented it as real, for example.
No.
Yes.
But wait. Slow down. Are you saying that they went, but maybe before they even got there, they put out fake footage just to like get ahead of the Russians?
I'm saying that like when you look into it as like part of kind of the materials that were put out of like, oh, this is footage from the moon. It's not. It's like studio footage that's like fake. And then like there's footage that's real, And then now they'll even say, they'll be like, oh, we told everyone it was fake at the time or whatever. But like, you can't go find that footage, right? Like they lost like all the original tapes, and now all you can ever find are like the remastered versions. It's crazy. I'm telling you, look into it.
Wait, can we
The-
have a whole topic about conspiracy theories?
The
Another
people
week?
who say that the moon landing was faked are not completely crazy, but we probably did go on the moon landing. Basically the most convincing reason of why we did go on the moon is they basically left effectively like a mirror on the moon, and you can basically run the experiment to like test that the laser like bounces back and that it's like real, right? Like we went to the moon. I'm not saying we didn't, but I am saying that there's like weird stuff in how they presented like what they did and what they actually didn't do.
Well, the motivations behind going to the moon partly was to like show dominance and like superiority in technology, right? So maybe there was a version of them putting that out there and faking it before they actually went, just to like show up the rushies, you know. Well, we're going. We just took a hard right.
Okay, first of all, I think it's pretty clear we need to do a whole Wizard Wednesday on this topic, number one.
I'm so down.
Number two, man, Dotta, you said a lot. Wait, Dotta, do you think Stanley Kubrick is the one behind the moon landing footage?
I don't know. That's a thing people say. I have no idea.
Okay.
But like, okay, but here's the thing. Let me tell you one thing that people talk about. This, have you heard like Project Bluebeam? Okay,
Yeah.
so this is probably what like the UFO sightings actually are. Is that like if you know how like when you have like your cat and you have like a laser pointer and you like move that laser pointer around?
Yeah.
Project Bluebeam is probably a 3-dimensional hologram that they use actually to like trip up sensors, where you can basically like focus in these lasers into a 3-dimensional point in space and make it appear as if there's this craft that moves like super fast. But really, you're actually just like focusing 3 lasers on this like one point. So it like ionizes the air, it shows up on your radar, it looks like it's really there. And then you move it, and it's like, wow, this thing is like the size of, you know, a small car. And
You just blew my mind. You just blew my mind.
Yeah. So like, it's probably just like a weapon of war and not really the aliens.
There's no aliens. I'm going back. No aliens. It's lasers.
Jitcy, Matto, weigh in with your conspiracy theories.
I got nothing to say.
Come on, Jitcy. Wait, I know what Jitsy's conspiracy is. Kobolds are green. That's his conspiracy.
Yeah, we'll leave it there with that one.
Matto, anything?
Matto's upset. Matto's upset.
Look, just do research on whether or not the CIA trained Lee Harvey Oswald. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I'm not denying that. I'm not denying. I have someone you need to talk to, Dotta. I have someone you need to talk to.
Who is it? Lee Harvey Oswald? He's actually still alive?
Yeah, he's in Costa Rica. You don't know that?
Is that the guy who you hired to put the posters up in New York for us?
No, my buddy is actually writing a podcast about the JFK whole conspiracy thing, and it's very, very interesting. You're gonna have to talk to him, Dotta, because y'all will get along quite well.
I've said enough. I have to code Goblin Town.
Yeah, I gotta go. I got a phone call in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have so many more to bring up, but yeah, we only have 1 minute left. You know, I just want to say though that I've really enjoyed the past 10 minutes, and I think the Illuminatus has done its job. I mean, clearly, you know, this is what a creative primitive is supposed to do: spark conversation, ignite creativity, and make the imagination go wild. So, thank you to the Illuminatus head. Anything else, guys?
I've said
Magic.
enough. Well, we got to do content shout-outs, right?
Oh my God, yes we do. Speaking of imaginations going wild, there's been some really great pieces this week.
Okay, guys, hold on. I love everyone. I have to get on this phone call. Very important. I'm doing it for y'all. I wish I could stay. I love you. Stay magic.
Okay, go Nifty Bear. Okay,
I'm sharing some tweets. I'm sharing some tweets up top.
Great, perfect. Yeah, I think one of my favorite things I've seen out of this week is from Tad Major. I don't even know what to call these. It looks like AI building with Legos. I don't know, Dota. How would you describe these things? They're amazing.
They're like voxel. They look like AI generated voxels in a JPEG, but I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean that's
I
it.
think that's what it is. I think he's using AI to generate voxels of the wizards with like image to image.
Cool.
Perfect. Yep, super cool, Tad. These are super fun. I've been loving all these. Wise Sam, Jack of all trades, master of none. A really great illustration. I think the only thing I would change is Jack of all trades, master of all trades. I mean, Wise Sam just does everything, and he does it well. Oz, two great pieces from Oz this week. Looks like one of them is for the Runes TCG core set, and then another just really beautiful illustration from the Atelier. Emma has honestly, I don't know what Emma posted. It's like, it looks like a game, but the only detail that I really noticed in it is that the kobold is at level 3 while everybody else is like 50 levels ahead of the kobold.
Accurate.
So, yeah. And then Matto with another really great piece of Magus Devon. The Baron Court did a really fun piece. It's basically like Wizards on floppy disks, or is it Game Boy cartridges? I don't know, but I love it.
I think that's a teaser for something else they've got coming out. I don't know if I can share it, but pay attention. Follow the Baron Court.
You're probably right. I mean, the Baron Court is just like a lore world building machine. I love everything the Baron Court does. So yeah, definitely follow them to check that out. And then speaking of lore world building machines, Loxley Labs, Loxley's Oracle has what appears to be a really fun, I'm going to say, drop coming very soon. Dota, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yep, it's going to be great.
Yeah, just beautiful, just beautiful. Yeah, definitely follow Loxley's Lab. Daniela Elastra posted a really nice video of her sketchbook. It's just getting bigger and bigger. Really great stuff, as always, from Daniela. And then speaking of notebooks, it looks like the Meeple Dad merch box and Cabinet of Curiosity came together with a fun reveal of Tabitha of the Marsh in this physical book. And it looks like there's a QR code to mint a shard from the Cabinet of Curiosity. And I think that's all I'm seeing now. Did I miss anything, Dota?
I think that's good for now.
That's good for now. Outro music. There it is. And I gotta say, Dota, I thought I was expecting like jazz music today, but no, you're DJ Dota today.
We're going for it.
DJ Dota's playing this? This is good, Dota.
This has been El Dota, Maddo, Jitcy, and Bear.